Government wants to renovate the entire system of the state, says Dr. Yunus. Discussion with all parties underway. Students give 3-month ultimatum to make health sector people-oriented, demands treatment of injured in private hospitals with state expense. Malaysian expatriate describes horrible torture in Ainaghar. Former military officials demand trial of Pilkhana carnage and money laundering. Hello and welcome to the News24 English Bulletin. This is Tamima Islam. Those were the Bashundhara T headlines.
Unique structure and design.
And now the details. The new government of Bangladesh wants to renovate the whole system, including the electoral system, judiciary, economics, mass media, and the local government. Chief Advisor to Interim Government Dr. Muhammad Yunus said this at the inaugural session of the Third Voice of Global South Summit being held in India. He said conversations in this regard are ongoing with all concerned, including political parties and civil society.
India is organizing the Voice of Global South Summit for the third time to create connectivity with friendly countries. Chief Advisor Dr. Muhammad Yunus was connected virtually with representatives from Vietnam, Oman, Nepal and Bhutan. Second revolution in Bangladesh was upheld in the address of the Chief Advisor. He said, youths have brought a revolutionary change in the state structure.
Our young generation have impressed upon the people of their aspirations for a revolutionary change, restoration of all institutions of the state to ensure democracy and human rights through a meaningful reform. Our government is committed to ensuring a transition to an inclusive and pluralistic democracy and create an environment in which free, fair and participatory elections can be held.
The chief executive of the government emphasized on institutional reforms in a bid to build a new Bangladesh.
Our task is now to carry out vital reforms in our electoral system, judiciary, local government, media, economy, and education. We are holding dialogue with political parties, civil society leaders, and experts to give shape to democratic aspirations of our revolutionary students.
Dr. Yunus invited Indian Prime Minister to visit Bangladesh to see the form of revolution that took place newly.
I invite you to visit Dhaka soon. Otherwise, you may miss something very, very important for us. Much of the Dhaka has turned into graffiti capital of the world. Young students and children aged as young as 12 to 13 have been painting the walls of this 400-year-old city with images of a new, democratic, environment-friendly Bangladesh.
The chief advisor said youths are the largest and strongest part of the population of Bangladesh. The youths are now committed to build a new world.
They approached the nearby shopkeepers
Ikramul Haq Suman,
to buy
News
paints and
24.
brushes.
Anti-discrimination students movement gave a 90-day ultimatum to the government to make the health sector of the country people-oriented. The countdown has started from Saturday. Meanwhile, the health ministry said the government will pay the expense of medical treatment of those injured during the movement. Advisor Farid Akhtar has said the initiative has been taken to arrange dedicated care units for those injured. Due to a confusion over a name, an expatriate to Malaysia named Sheikh Selim faced inhumane torture in a case of dropping a bomb in Kota Lipara. In an investigation, News24 found Selim was tortured in the so-called Ainaghar established by the Sheikh Hasina government. He described the horrible days of torture. The relatives of those deceased in the Pilkhana tragedy allegedly said that there was involvement of former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and India in the carnage. They said those who were involved from behind the scenes have to be brought under trial through judicial investigation. Former military officials demanded publishing the names of the close ones of Sheikh Hasina who were involved in reserve heist and money laundering. BNP Standing Committee member Hafizuddin Ahmed wants to see the positive results of the revolution. He said this morning at a meeting of the Jatiyotabadi Muktijoddhar Dol at Jatiyo Press Club. He said BNP should make it clear first that if they come to power, they will not be a dictator like Awami League and build an extortion and terrorism-free country. He said, referring to India, that Bangladesh will be their friend. Sheikh Hasina should be brought back and tried. A case has been filed in Chattogram against 34 persons, including the former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and former Education Minister Naufal. Meanwhile, the former Water Resources Minister and MP of Thakurgaon 1 constituency, Ramesh Chandra Sen, has been arrested by police. His wife, Anjali Sen, has confirmed the matter. Former MP of Chattogram, M.A. Latif, is now on a 3-day remand. Constructing a new Bangladesh is the major challenge for the interim government. New 2 advisors said this after paying tribute to the National Mausoleum on Saturday. They said the interim government will work for speeding up the administration for providing service for the people of the country. We'll be back after a short break. Please stay with us. Welcome back. You're watching News 24 English Bulletin. Media workers are used as political tools in front of the public. Many have incited genocide. Media Reform Initiative, the platform of independent journalism, has demanded to reform the entire system to make independent journalism in Bangladesh. 13 points of demands for the sake of media reform were mentioned at a discussion at Dhaka Reporters Unity. At that time, columnist and researcher Altaf Parvez urged to fight against greed and biasness. Outsourcing employees of government institutions are protesting at Shahbag intersection demanding nationalization of jobs. On Saturday, thousands of workers working on outsourcing and daily wage basis of various government institutions started protesting at Shahbag. At this time, they demanded all the employees should be made permanent. The agitators complained that they have been suffering from wage discrimination for many years. Liberal Democratic Party LDP President Colonel retired Oli Ahmed has demanded imposing bans on Awami League for treason. He made the demand at a press conference at the LDP office at Mogbazar in the capital on Saturday morning. At this time, Oli Ahmed said that the state should be divided into several provinces for decentralization. He also said those who used affiliation of Awami League for getting jobs should be fired instead of transferred. Later, they held a protest march at Mogbazar area. Doctors in India have begun a national strike, escalating the protest against the rape and murder of a female colleague in the West Bengal city of Kolkata. The Indian Medical Association IMA, the country's largest grouping of doctors, said all non-essential hospital services would be shut down across the country on Saturday. The IMA described last week's killing as a crime of barbaric scale due to the lack of safe spaces for women and asked for the country's support in its struggle for justice. Protests against the attack and calling for the better protection of women have intensified in recent days after a mob vandalized the hospital where it happened. That's all from the newsroom today. Thank you for watching News 24. Please stay with us.